Hello ratbags, it's Jade with another Valheim guide today. Make sure you subscribe, got that bell dinged for the best in Valheim guides and news updates. We're going to take a look at silver today, how to get it and what you can make with all the silver plus cloaks. Pretty much making it a cinch to go through the mountain areas once you get hold of some silver. It's not going to be easy and you maybe need to take on the bone mass boss first, but I'm going to take you through the steps. So please do like the video if you find it useful, check out the rest of my Valheim content and let's go. As said, you probably need to take the bone mass. In fact, you do need to take the bone mass boss out to get the wishbone. And there you can try and get in hold of some silver. I mean, you can try without it and just dig a billion spots, but there's no guarantee you'll find some. The deposits for silver are found in the mountainous biomes. You may find a couple pieces maybe in a chest, but to reliably get it, you're going to have to follow the green little dots, dashes. If you've not seen this, you equip the wishbone, and the closer you are over something, the more it's going to flash, basically showing you hidden objects. The only other places there are hidden stuff are in the swamp, where you can find metal scrap piles in some of the areas, and if you take a look in a meadow you can find treasures buried beneath the ground. So I've tested the bone mass wishbone now in every biome. There's nothing to unearth in the Black Forest nor in the plains as far as I'm aware, nor any of the other biomes either. But you get the idea. Keep mining and you will find the silver. It's a huge deposit. It's about maybe half the size of copper. You'll get quite a good amount of ore out of it, but of course you need a lot of silver to make all the armor set and all of the weapons. There's some really good weapons here, particularly the bow, and particularly against undead creatures you want to make the silver sword. It's obviously very heavy and you do need to smelt it in just a regular smelter. It doesn't need the blast furnace, just a regular one will do. And just a few other little tips, you're also going to need some ancient wood and you will need some guck ahead of time if you're watching this. You can get both of them from the swamp area too. So let's go and craft everything up. So I've put my silver ore in my smelter and it's going to pop out the ingots, and then it unlock all the recipes for the silver weapon sets, the armour, which is really good as I said for protecting from the cold, and some extra cloaks. Draugra's Fang is the special weapon, the bow that you can get with this. And you do get a nice shield too. Okay, let's go ahead and craft some of this silver stuff and see how it stats up. But a quick glance at the iron sword, slash of 55. Silver sword does 75 slash, but it also does 30% spirit damage. I'm guessing it's going to be good for the undead creatures, maybe like the skeletons, and possibly traditionally against werewolves, the Fenrir. Other than that, it's all pretty similar to the iron sword in terms of stats, but the cost of it is pretty expensive, obviously. 40 silver. Now you saw from that giant massive deposit there, I had maybe done half of it, and I got around 23 pieces of the ingot out. So pretty expensive. But let's go ahead and craft it. Level 3 you have to be, and there's the silver sword. So when you compare the silver sword to the black metal, well, the black metal's still better sword. It depends though on what kind of mobs you're facing. If they're undead, then use a silver sword. And just a quick glance at some of the other stuff as well. The Fang Spear, you're going to need 4 wolf fangs, 10 ancient bark, which obviously you get from the swamps, 2 leather scrap, and only 2 silver. Now comparatively, compared to something like the bronze spear, it does pierce damage of 70 versus the pierce damage of 35 for bronze. So that's double the amount. Fang Spear doesn't have any additional bonus attributes against undead creatures by looks of things. It is just a much better one-handed spear. It's better than the ancient bark spear, which is only 55. So you can see also the silver arrows are really good again against spirit creatures. 20 damage, 52 pierce compared to only 42 pierce for iron arrows. And the silver shield compared to the banded one, block power of 60 for the banded, block power 75 for the silver. Again, you can go ahead and customize it in all sorts of colours. Let's go ahead and craft one of these. 8 silver, 10 fine wood. So let's go ahead and craft the Fang Spear. And then last thing we need to look at is of course the Drauga Fang. I think this is the 4th bow and the final one that you'll unlock. Going to need 10 ancient bark, 20 silver, 2 deer hide and 10 guck. Now that guck is pretty hard to get hold of. You'll find it in the swamps and the trees and you need to hack at it with a pickaxe. And just for comparisons, the huntsman's bow does 42 pierce, the Draugr's bow does 47, but the Drauga Fang does have an additional 5 poison. I'm guessing again it's going to be very good against Draugr enemies. As you can see as well with the bows, crude obviously does 31 damage, The Huntsman's Bow does 42 pierce damage, but the Drauga Fang does do that 47 and the additional 5 poison. Normal arrows and some of the silver ones. The difference between the normal and the silver is pretty big. Silver arrows have 52 pierce damage, so they're just below the needle ones, but still better than the frost, and about 10 more than the iron head arrows. You see they're exactly the same as the obsidian as well. Okay, let's take a look at all of the silver stuff. Quite like the fact that the silver glows at night time. Maybe it glows in the day, I'm not sure, as this is night just turned into day. And just show you a little bit of effectiveness against some of the goblins and stuff. Yep, it's like one shot in them with the Draugr bow. But obviously they're not undead, so I don't think it's doing that much additional damage. Maybe the poison will help a little bit. Let's try and find some bigger ones. Pretty much like a lot of the other weapons or obsidian arrows and stuff like that, they all do great damage against the goblins, but it's making sure they don't actually hit you. No matter how much output you're doing with attack types, I find that defense is still the massive issue taking these on. You really do need lots of the proper potions and meads to really keep you fortified, because they will just literally one-shot you, even wearing iron armour and stuff. Okay, let's take a look at the silver sword now. Now you can see the actual silver sword against the skeleton is doing longer damage over time. It doesn't seem to do it with the grey dwarf, but definitely with the undead creatures it does look like it does additional damage. You can see it's doing that burning damage. And then just a little showcase of the shield, see how much block damage it's doing. Obviously just like every other shield, I won't focus on this too much, but you get the idea. You can stun them as always and then attack with your sword. The silver sword's not going to do anything to goblins because they're not undead creatures. That's the Fang Spear, it's okay. Just show you what the spear does in terms of damage. You can see I'm taking on some nutrients. It's pretty overpowered, I'm pretty over leveled as well, so I'm doing these guys with like one hit, but you can see the damage outputs that it's doing. Pretty much exactly what it says on the tin in terms of the description, and of course you can throw it and do a lot of damage that way too. I've spent way too long trying to get some screenshots. Let's take a look at some of the other stuff now, like the armours. So for the wolf armour you get the chest and the legs, both requiring 20 silver, 5 wolf pelt each. The legs need 4 wolf fangs, and the actual chest itself needs 1 chain. You can see that it's really good against frost. So we can go ahead and craft them. Craft the legs. We'll directly compare this in a second. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. Gives a nice silvery shine. Now I was complaining that there wasn't any wolf helmets, but of course there are some cool looking cloaks. You'll find these in your workbench rather than your actual other bench. Also you'll be able to use Lock's pelt. If you found these big huge creatures in the plains, you can now make a use out of their fur. So let's go ahead and craft some of these up. So for the wolf fur cape you are going to need a wolf trophy, 4 silver and 6 wolf pelt. And it just so happens I happen to have a few here. So here we go, here's the wolf fur cape. Resistance versus frost. Oh baby. Talk to me. Tell me my wolf armour looks sexy. So you've got a few more capes you can make. The linen one, you just need 20 linen and 1 silver. And again, you can colorise it any way you want. Could stick with the red. Let's go for a yellow. Just put that on just to show you guys now. Yeah, it's not bad, it's not bad. And for the locks, we're going to need 6 lock pelt. Go upstairs and see if I've got some. So you can't customise the locks one or the wolf one, only the linen cape. So 6 locks pelts, 2 silver. And that's going to give you even more resistance against frost too. So you see all 3 of these capes have 1 armour protection. The wolf and the locks do protection against frost. The linen one doesn't though, but it does have more durability than the other 2. With the wolf only having 1000, the locks 1200 and the normal linen cape 1500. And just to put the locks one on, see what it looks like. Yeah, it's okay. It's pretty vanilla, ain't gonna lie. It's pretty boring. A very big long regal coat. Maybe it looks better without the actual top, just to show you what it looks like. A little bit heavy fur makes it almost look like it is a sort of feathered, just to show you a little bit more up close. And I will do the same with just the yellow cape as well. Kind of hangs just off the shoulders, you get the idea. But absolutely, I think the wolf cape is my new daddy. Look at that. Now because there's no actual helmet for the wolf cape, I'm actually going to put it in with the rest of my armours. And I'm going to put my big other capes all in the same chest here. So it does look like the cloaks will do the job. See, I'm walking around and I'm not taking any substantial damage. If we take one of these off, it does also look like it's okay too. Effectively, it looks like you can have just one piece, either the chest piece or the legs, or the other way around, only have the cloak, and it will still protect you against a bit of frost. Now, if there's a big storm rolling in, maybe you need more than that. I didn't really have a chance to test that, but just from having a quick walk around, you can see I'm not taking any damage anymore because the cloak is keeping me warm, or the armor's keeping me warm. So effectively, always make sure you've either got the cloak or you've got your chest piece, and maybe keep one of them in reserve. If you get attacked by other creatures, it can get very easily damaged and then you will not be able to wear it. So it might be a really good idea to have your cloak as a separate item just to go through the mountain biomes. I'm really hoping it's super effective against the Fenrir. If you come across the werewolf creature in the mountains at night time, that would be really good for it, and maybe even wraiths in the zombie swamp zones. So I'm going to try that out again in a future video, just taking care of all the mobs with all of the weapons. But I hope you found this useful. If you have, like I said, please like the video, leave a comment, and I will be showcasing every single weapon and armor piece in the game very soon. Until next time, rat bags, laters.